Welcome to the University Park Improvement District recorded meeting records. The board tried to delete these from the internet, claiming it cost too much to keep them saved on Zoom, so now they are here uploaded for free on YouTube. Meet the board members: James Slaymaker, the lying hypocrite; Joanne Zahner, who joined the board because she was upset her neighbor had more cars than her; and Sarah Dole, who agrees with them that it should be illegal for women to be topless.
Sorry.
That's 15. So
Where are they on my?
I like it here.
Oh, they're on my iPad. Okay, that's more
Not a
than
fan before it.
the phone.
That's not-
Okay.
It has not gone in the right direction at all. HALL.
Yes.
Bad reputation and.
Where is it?
Yeah. definitely.
Not time to get it all done.
Thirty-five.
Which
is.
You have to know.
And 35 on Kansas City.
And then you get a.
And then you It used to be, that was the district.
He was a lot faster before he retired.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, we already all.
It's perfect, right? No, okay.
One thing, you don't have to. Get it all on a Saturday. Any idea?
All right, it's 7 o'clock and Kurt's here, so we are ready to go. So we're gonna go get the meeting started, please. It is University Park Board Agenda, July 9th, 2024, at 7, a little after 7. We're at the clubhouse and it's on Zoom. So notice all attendees will need to state their first and last name on the sign-in sheet or have their first and last name displayed on the Zoom meetings. This is for proper record keeping for the UP public meetings. If your first and last name is not displayed properly on Zoom, you can provide it in the chat or speak it aloud at the start of the meeting. If your first and last name has not been recorded by 15 minutes after the start of the meeting, you will be removed from the Zoom. This meeting is being recorded, including both live and Zoom audiences for future reference. Viewer discretion is advised. To adhere to proper record keeping, the audio and visual recordings will stay active throughout the Zoom meeting. Call the meeting to order. Board members present: Sarah Dahl, Joanne Zahner, and James Slaymaker. So introductions, announcements, presentation, thanks. So new community member Larry Kelly is moving to 7101 Redbud, which is the Keister's house. I know some people have already met him. So welcome, Larry. And then actually Carl and I met Greg Ledbetter this week. He and his family have moved into the Martin's house on Canyon Circle. And welcome. And I think he said he's going to come to the picnic. So it'd be a new guy here with his family. I think they have what, a couple kids, huh? Okay. Audience comments. Please stand and state your name before speaking. Keep comments to under 5 minutes. Be brief and respectful of the board and other community members. Audience will have the opportunity to take part in discussion of agenda items in the order they will appear on the agenda. Does the audience have any comments at this time? Nope. Anything online? Any comments online?
No comments online.
Cool. Page 2. Let's see. We are approval of the June meeting minutes and June financial reports. So any comments up here?
No comments. I do have a question though. I went and talked with the city on a couple things, and so we tracked 3 different funds under the account balances at the end of the treasury report. This question is kind of for previous board members beyond me. Between Fund 232, 230, and 284. Does anyone know why we track all 3 of them? Because 232 is the only fund that is just University Park. The others we're part of, but it's not our money to use at our discretion. Fund 232 is UPID money to use.
Yeah, so
Just out of curiosity.
I would say that we pick the mill levy You know, we kind of control the board, previous boards control the mill levy, and that is how those funds get in there. You know, including the piece for basically it's the water and the sewer fund is the other fund that we're talking about. The 230, whatever it is. And then the other number, like 280, what was it, 284? I'm sorry?
284.
284, that is one that comes up on delinquent. So you don't see it very often. If somebody pays something from 3 or 4 years ago, it will come up on that one, if I recall.
Okay.
But what I would say is how I felt about it when I was treasurer is that I figured the board controlled the assessment, and therefore, we should track it and not just put the whole burden on, although we don't control it. I know we don't control it. So basically, Riley County controls this other fund. The water, the sewer guys up there, they use the funds to pay Joel, who's out here working on the sewer. They use the funds to pay for gravel. They don't ask us anything. And that's what Sarah's saying. Why are we tracking if they don't ask us? Because they never do. They just spend it on whatever they want. But that would be my theory about it, is because it's part of the assessment that's controlled by the board. I kind of figure we need to. If no other reason, I've seen things on there where I go back and I ask the county, what is that? Why are we paying for that? So anyway, that's what I would say. That would be my thought. I mean, Kurt, what do you think? Bob?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I address that?
Yeah, yes, please.
Kurt Frederick, and I don't recall the number for sure, but basically the one is the UPID fund, basically our fund that the county holds in their purse.
Mhm.
Okay, the other one, and that is the one that James is referring to, that the board sets that mill levy. The last few years, because of revenue neutral mill levy, you haven't raised any more revenue than the previous year, because you got to go through all the, don't have to go through the hoops, and we're good on that. The other two is water and sewer operating fund, I believe it's referred to as, and the other one is capital outlay. Those funds, yes, are set by the county. That's county mill levies that sets that for the water and sewer benefit district for the University Park. You are correct in your assessment that currently the county doesn't ask the UP board anything about that. Previously, they did. When we had a different public works director, he would come out here once a year, show us a spreadsheet. We would discuss whether they needed to adjust the rate. So, he ran it past the UP board first. It is our money because it's our taxes it's paying. That's where they get it from. We started showing it way back in the minutes when I was on the board, and Bob and the ones, because it is our money, and that, we were tracking, how were they spending, what was they doing. We used to get a monthly report.
We still do.
Never do. Do you yet?
We do.
We get all three of those, but is it just University Park taxes that fund that?
Yeah,
It's nobody else?
nobody else.
Okay.
And to date, other than maybe what I've read a little bit about picked up in the minute in the county commission minutes, they presently with the sewer lagoon side bill, they have secured a loan that they're using to pay bills with now. But they have also paid some of those bills out of that capital improvement.
They did. They borrowed the money, and when they got the big loan, they paid back a lump sum to that account. They did. I do know they paid it back. Yes.
And then we will pay that back through our taxes.
Roger that.
Whenever the project comes home. But that was when we moved here, I went to Leon Hobson and he got my dander up a little bit, because the little lift station up on Lakeview Drive that's south of Gary McCabe, that only the house over the hill is hooked up to, that house was vacant. oh, somebody bought it. They had robbed parts and pieces off of that lift station down there, and it was not operational. The county had the University Park Water and Sewer Benefit District, Sewer Benefit District specifically, had to borrow $10,000 from the county general fund to get it repaired. I said, why the hell don't we have any funds to fix this up? And he said, everybody's already told me, keep it down to a minimum. Well, so we went through a process of repaying that loan over a 2-year period of, I think it was $8 a month. When that was paid off, Leon Hobson came back out and said, okay, what do you want to do? You want to drop this $8 or you want to continue to collect that $8 and build up the fund? And we said, go ahead and build up the fund. And so that's why there's a pretty good amount there. And that is only, that $8 a month is only paid by water and sewer that is connected to houses.
Customers.
The other money that they get is the $17 a year off of vacant lot, or whatever it is, your taxes on that. It's very minimal for vacant lot because of value.
So, I mean, I'd prefer to keep it. That would be my, sound like you felt when you were on the board, you thought it was important too. So,
Yeah, it's good to see that and what they're doing with those funds. That's what repairs the water tower and repairs lift stations if you have to. And yeah, pay the bill, that's how the operating within the capital outlay.
Okay, because what it sounded like when I talked to Raleigh County is that the other two were not only University Park, but it sounds like they are.
as far as I always thought they were, so like, he's under the same pressure, so
Yeah.
I believe they are.
They are assessed on taxes in the University Park Improvement District.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other more comments? How about online?
No comments online.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the June meeting minutes and financials?
I make a motion to approve the June meeting minutes and June financial report.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, both, aye. So June meeting minutes and June financial report are approved. Okay, old business. So boat ramp, I'm gonna let John tell us all the exciting stuff.
Oh, yeah, lots of excitement, John Cassidy. For those that are not aware, the boat, we pulled a boat dock the last week. The lake level is at this point today, 9.5 feet above normal. When the lake gets about 2 to 3 feet above normal, the boat dock becomes inaccessible unless you want to go wade to it. And so last week, based upon the forecast, the Corps was not letting out water because they were attempting to mitigate any kind of flooding downstream based upon the stuff that's happening in Iowa and North Dakota and South Dakota and Nebraska. So they were holding the gates on Tuttle Creek at 200 cubic feet per second output, and they were getting 5,000 to 8,000 cubic feet in per day. Per second. And so in any case, the lake level started going up and up, and James and I talked and made a decision in order to prevent any kind of potential damage to the boat dock, because we weren't really sure. We inquired with the lake, with the Corps, if they were going to begin to release water, and they weren't really sure. They said it all depends, and it all depends on whether or not we get any more rain, depends on whether or not, anybody else gets rain. And so in any case, we made a decision. So thankfully, on pretty short notice, got a group of people together to help out, pulled it out. We did have an expenditure associated with that. I'll let James speak to that point. He picked up a very handy device to be able to help lift up the end of the gangway that doesn't have a float on it. So in any case, in about an hour, we were able to pull the dock, and it's out and it's up. In terms of putting it back in, we will continue to monitor the lake. Well, like I said, we're 9.5 feet up, and then of course finally leveled it off a little bit. It seems like it's going to start to go down. Now, how far it's going to go down, how fast, we'll just have to wait and see. But as soon as the lake level gets to the point where we feel comfortable putting the dock and ramp back in, we will do so.
Did you say 2 to 3 feet?
Yeah, about 2 to 3 feet is when it becomes. You can get to it last week. It was up 7 feet. You can get to it, but the water at the base of the gangway was at my shoulders. So, it got up real quick and there wasn't any water going out, so the decision was in the best interest of making sure that we don't have any damage to that. We went ahead and pulled it.
Cool. Pretty safe evolution. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
So what we did, we bought an airbag. I think it was like $250. We did it quickly. It was the only way that we felt we could get the dock up safely at the height the lake was. We talked and it worked well, and it will work in the future for pulling the dock out at any time. I mean, we basically put ratchet straps on it. We take a float bag, we shove it all the way down to the deck. When you do that, the deck comes up high, gets off the concrete off the bottom, and we just floated it around. It was easy, pretty safe.
Imagine, we've been working on that. Basically where the dock connects to the ground was under 5 feet of water or plus, right? Yeah. And so the dock at that point, like to walk up, it was 5 feet going up. And so that was a big challenge to try to figure out how are we gonna get that out of there without, normally you would pull the tractor straight up to it and lift it up and pull it out. Well, that wasn't an option. So James had a great idea and it worked out. It's a very good and repeatable solution
And safe.
and safe.
It was safe. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, John. Golf course, Jeff Luna.
Okay, my name's Jeff Wonder. We had a combined meeting with I don't know what they call themselves, the prairie grass people. Last Sunday and discussed several things about the walking trails, the cart path and stuff, trying to get those identified. Really, I think it came to, there wasn't a whole lot of the walking trails that needed to be differentiated from the golf course stuff. A lot of their trails are actually part of the golf course itself. There was a few areas here at the end of hole 1 where it loops around that diamond. Pretty much walking trail back there. Off of 2 where it goes along the tree line and the fairway cuts across there. Really didn't see need for golf course to be back along that trail. Over here off of 5 where it dips back in along the tree line and then it goes down the hill along the tree line down to that lower level area. We don't usually see golf carts going down through there either, so those areas we kind of identified and we identified some places where we need to do some improvement on the rock on the trails. I need to get a hold of somebody and get an estimate on getting some rock brought in, and then we can stage it here at the parking lot here. And then talk to some people about some smaller trailers to get them transported over there and done. But we're still working on the details.
I mean, you thinking AB3? What size?
Well, we discussed having maybe 2 different sizes because we wanted to get some bigger rock on the hill coming down from the tee box on 9 down. I need a little bit bigger size rock to hold that hill.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the place, smaller gravel.
Probably AB3. Okay, so we can just, if you want, we can put money, make money available, so we don't have to wait another month to get going on it. Like the bigger stuff, Jeff, you probably just use dump trailer and get one load of the
Yeah.
big stuff.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of bringing a whole big dump truck in, a
Yeah,
partial
'cause
load is gonna cost you.
it was only just that big hill that was thinking off of Big Rock, right?
Yeah, we thought anything that might be left over, you could use on a tree dump road. To hold that. Do the purpose of it.
So, okay, so any other discussion on that? I'd say, let's give them $1,000,
Up to?
for gravel, up to $1,000 for the 2 different loads of gravel, or if that'd probably get, that's at least 2.
Get a good start on it.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, Bob, yeah.
What about dumping it down at the bone pit in that area where there's some other rock and stuff sitting down there rather than tying this up here? Cause we did do that at one time and everybody has since moved it down there.
Right, but that was mostly sand that was beside the
Okay.
building. If we get AB3, which is what I would recommend,
Yeah,
because it has a lot of fines, it'll pack. And whatever we don't use, we'll just spread out right here in
And
the
that's
parking
what
lot,
we talked about.
you know.
What we didn't usually just.
feather it out and be done. So I'd say if we get extra,
help
Yeah.
Parking.
okay,
So I motion that we approve up to $1,000 of funds for the golf course committee to use towards rock and gravel.
I second that.
okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye. All right, cool. And, yeah, I'm sorry.
And some other things we talked about, talking to, what was the lady's name, Debbie? About what to spray on the greens to help kill the grass on the greens. And, so maybe we can keep them some, being so weedy. And then we also talk in the future, once we get some trails better, about, getting some dirt and leveling out the tee box too, so there, some of them are getting pretty, uneven. But that's the future project.
So Debbie, has she done all her spraying? Electric to date? Well, I'm sorry.
I think Laura's gonna talk about that, because Debbie stopped by and they had a discussion today.
Okay, well, let's see how the Debbie discussion goes, because I know that Kurt and I just talked today about getting some weed kill, and he was gonna go out and hit the greens and do something about that mess out there, but
Well, I was talking more about the disc golf course around the baskets and the tee box.
okay, I apologize.
But yeah, the sand green needs something also.
Okay, so we'll see what Debbie goes, but
Yeah.
you know, we definitely need to do that. Anything else, Jeff?
That adopted people.
Oh, yeah. It was brought up that, the idea about adopting a tee box, family adopt a tee box and help take care of it. If anybody had any interest in doing that. And one of the things I thought was, we need to get them in shape. You know, help them out to get it back to where somebody could maintain it easily. Because right now, I hate to adopt one, because it would take a lot of work to get it back in shape. But if we get them sprayed and cleaned up and.
The tee boxes or the
No, the green,
Oh, okay.
the green.
they're rocking there or something.
Got screw loose. We have talked about that in the past, you know, about taking over a hole, you know, we talk families, we talk streets like Lakeview, Redbud, you know, there's only 9 holes, you know. Anyway, there's been a lot of discussion. I'd say if you can get something going with that and get some people on board, you know, some could be families, some could be streets, doesn't matter, whatever it is.
Maybe we could do, you still putting out surveys? Maybe we could do a survey of people what would be interested in doing that.
Just, families or people or?
Groups or however they want to organize themselves about the whole.
Yeah.
Streets are, I think it's streets could be a good idea.
But it could be both. It could be families, it could be street, whatever.
I do think, sometimes when communities have things where, you know, something gets adopted, people go out and they put planters and they plant flowers and in a golf course, like, you don't want planters and you don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's a golf course, you know, so I think, you know, or put a statue, or I just how people are, you know, they want to market with their thing to make it, you know. And I think, you know, need to try to stay away from that. It's a golf course and all those things become obstacles and.
that
Mowing
would be,
obstacles too.
my question is, what does that look like if someone were to adopt a tee box?
It's not a tee box, it's a green.
Sorry, a green, adopt a green, then
Keep the sand out of it, or keep the weeds out of it.
would we outline what their responsibilities are
That's
and what
true.
that looks like, how often they should be out there?
Yeah.
But you're talking just the sandbox, not the whole hole?
Yeah, they're.
Well, I don't think we discussed the whole hole, but
I would say the team and the.
yeah, if they want to do the tee box and the hole.
Right, I mean,
That makes sense.
okay, I mean, survey monkey, that's right, for golf.
Microsoft one.
All right, there you go. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay,
I will send it to you guys. Okay. For you to read this.
Okay.
and then,
Okay.
sorry, Bob.
If you spray Roundup on the greens, it will not wash out. Roundup only kills what it hits that is green. If you spray some of this other vegetation stuff out there, it could wash out and kill the grass.
Yep.
Roundup will not do that.
I mean, my first thought, if she's coming back out in the near future, I would just have her spray all the greens and be done.
Yeah,
Or, yeah, or not, yeah, the greens, but let's see how the discussion goes and we'll figure it out. Cool. Welcome committee, Don Turner.
Susan is online. Is Dawn with you? Do you want to unmute and talk about welcome committee and new members?
It's Don and Susan both, so.
Yeah.
All right. If they come on, we can come back. Firewise, Carla?
No, just if you're working in your yards, it's coming up, shoot me the Firewise hours, please, or send them to the board, either way. So we can keep track and keep our status.
Yeah, speaking of Firewise, segue into the burn pile. I think everybody saw that Facebook post about the debris that got put down there. Todd actually went down, Schmidt went down and cleaned it up. I believe he did. Did you do it, Kurt?
I didn't.
Yeah, I thought Todd did. So Todd went down and cleaned it up. So thank you, Todd. He's not on, but he went down and cleaned it up. But you know, somebody posted a really good conversation in there that it is a privilege that we have a burn pile out here with the county, their permission. And if we abuse it and we do the wrong things, they can revoke it and we'll all be hauling our crap to towns. So be thoughtful of that, please. Parks and Rec, Kurt. Frederick.
Really nothing to report right now. The June meeting that I went to was pretty uneventful. Main thing there, they just reported, really doesn't have anything to do with county funds, but just FYI. Pico Park, the northeast corner of that where ball diamonds are at. Believe the city, if they have not approved that plan just in the last week or so,
They did.
will be, okay, I thought, it was on their agenda, I need someone else, that they're approving that for, I doubt if those diamonds will be available next year, and they're supposed to be completed in 2026. They're very outdated. It was built back in the 60s, that facility was. Restrooms are no longer working, they're shutting on the jobs there, it's all diamonds don't drain, and they're gonna suck a lot of money into them, but it's with their sales tax thing for their, that the city has for that. But it's going to be very nice, 2 baseball diamonds and 2 softball diamonds is what will be good. And they will be the turf, the artificial turf infields and the very nice grass turf outfields, and it could rain probably 2 inches tonight and they could play ball there tomorrow. Just like the ones out at Twin Oaks, anybody's been out there, those baseball fields there. So.
Okay. All right, thank you, Kurt. Sherman Township, we're gonna talk about the roads and the new business, but Tracy, do you have anything?
No, they had their financial meeting of June, but they have not had their regular business meeting. I requested that they let me know, and they said they would.
Yeah, so when Tracy gets that, she'll let the board know. We'll publish that. It's a great opportunity to come and speak directly to the township who has the plan for road grading. So I recommend you go to that if you have time. So golf course prairie management, Laura Mendenhall.
Yep,
Laura.
Laura, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Oh. Too
You're
loud.
good. No, you're fine.
Okay, good. As Jeff mentioned, I sat down with the golf course committee this weekend and we just talked about walking trails versus cart trails. And we think that the addition of gravel is really going to help direct folks to the right place with their carts. And then also, I think last meeting we talked about maybe resharing the map that I made of the designated walking trails. So maybe we can, maybe it was reshared, but we could put that back on Facebook or email it out. And just note that Derek's been shifting the walking trails, not by much, but just if there's erosion, he kind of mows off to the side just to get traffic off of the area, that is foot traffic off of the areas that are seeing a little bit of erosion. And then it was brought up at the golf course committee meeting, just a reminder to folks when you're walking, just kind of maintain situational awareness. When people are golfing, it can be very dangerous to get hit by a golf ball. And then consider walking in the direction of play. So yeah, I guess that's sort of self-explanatory, but yeah, situational awareness. And then Debbie did just finish spraying the Old World Blue Stem and Crown Vetch and Ceresia. She might come back in the fall. We might have her come back in the fall, depending on how bad it looks then, but we're also considering doing a late summer growing season burn to try and control some of that Old World Blue Stem. And so we've got Ethan Sylvester. I know you're on the Zoom, but he's a new member of our committee and he's got some really great ideas. So we hope to bring those to the board meeting next month. And then, gosh, oh, the last item is the golf course committee has requested, there's about, it's about an acre, maybe less than an acre of sections in total on holes 1, 2, and 3 that they'd like to see mowed so that they don't lose balls as much. So it's areas that we've let grow up into tall grass. And so I have a map. I actually just texted it to my mom for reference, but it would probably need whatever heavy duty mower and not like the fairway mower. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the difference.
So is that the black or is that the red? 1, 2, 3, what?
It's the black. Hold on, let me look at it. It's the black. The 3 little black circles, one's on hole 1, one's on hole 2, and one's on hole 3.
Okay, we'll talk to Kurt after the meeting and show him. So he's here. We can work that out.
Okay, cool. And I would just recommend if we are going to mow those, there's one section that maybe has some tree stumps in it, so we need to be aware of that. And then in general, in Kansas, it's recommended to wait until after July 15th to mow any tall grass, just so the grassland nesting birds finish nesting. So we're not running over baby birds.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do that.
No, we would not.
We wouldn't be able to shoot them later if we ran them over now. All right.
Did you, Jeff Luna did, Lord, Jeff Luna had a question about Debbie spraying. Where were you talking? Spraying the greens.
Oh,
If she's
right.
not coming back.
Yeah, so we could, I mean, yeah, we could for sure call her if the board would approve an additional, more funds to spray. We could for sure call her and have her come back.
All right, we'll talk to Kurt, see where he stands on it. If he'll do it, then we'll let Kurt do it when he sprays the other. We'll talk about it, Kurt. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Equipment, Kurt.
Oh, it all seems to be in not as good a condition as it's ever been,
Yeah.
So, no major repairs or breakdowns or anything right now.
Okay.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah. So I-
John Deere just keeps on going.
So back to you on that. If we buy the additional spray, would you do the greens in a near future, or is that you good, or you want us to have her?
Debbie can probably get to it before me, maybe, I don't know, so, and I know, Bob, you're correct, is Roundup is gonna kill what's there and not leach out, not spread out, leach out in this, but it's only gonna kill what's there now.
Yeah, that's all it'll do.
Yeah,
But the other stuff will wash out into the grass.
I would suggest getting with Debbie and see if there's something that we can, if she has or can get that can put down that will keep the stuff from going back, but yet we don't want the ground killed. That's the.
Okay, we can talk to Debbie then.
Yeah.
So how much money do we have left on Debbie? We approved a bunch of money. Is it all gone?
Yeah, I think we approved 500 and this invoice sitting in front of me is $490. So that leaves $10.
She won't do it for 10, I think.
I
Okay.
don't know what it costs to do 9 sand green, this Roundup.
Well, it looks like she bills per hour
Yeah,
and then the cost of the chemical that she uses. So this invoice is for 6 hours.
I guess spraying
50
last year.
50
I
bucks
don't
an hour.
know how long.
And the spray.
190 for the chemical and then 50 bucks an hour for time.
Okay, why don't we just, let's just approve $500 and we need to get it done if she can get to it because the greens are a mess, you know.
Do you want Laura contacting her or Jeff?
I'd just say Laura. I mean, Laura, you're still here, right?
She's on mute, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So
can
you know
do
what
it.
we're looking for? We're looking for kill what's on there now, and if she can put some legacy chemical down that you know, a little long lasting, but won't kill everything outside of the sand, that would be great. Can you handle that?
Yeah, I can ask her. Yep.
And we would like to have it done as soon as possible, so we need to approve $500.
Yes, I make a motion to approve $500 to use, I forget Debbie's company.
I saw on here.
Use,
Hilltop.
yeah, Hilltop Ag to spray the greens. All the greens, or
All of them, all nine.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Okay, pass. Thank you. And thank you, Laura, for taking care of that. And as soon as she can do it, we would appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
Once she kills it, I mean, she's not gonna drag the deads off, so we'll have to come up with something for that. Okay. Sewer lagoon update. We don't have an update. I did talk to Evan yesterday for a minute and he said, you know, that they're working on the survey, they're working on the drawings, they're working on the plan, but there's nothing changed from last month. And he said next month, there should be some solid information. I mean, the plan is going to be laid out at the next month meeting, or he should have it to us by then is what he thought, so. All right, UP rental management contract. So basically, I know we've been talking about it for a long time. It's a big deal, you know, so we wanted to do the right thing and we talked to a lot of people. We thought it was gonna work out with Randy. And his insurance was like gonna be $1,000 a year just to manage that rental, which wouldn't leave much left for him. So obviously it didn't work for him and it wouldn't work for me at that rate either. So we do have one more option and maybe two options. And we're still looking at it, but we are gonna sign a lease and for August 1st. So that is there's no changes. It's gonna be the exact same lease it was before, just another year, 1 year.
The same people.
Yep.
Awesome.
that person.
All right, cool. On page 3. So basically the covenant enforcement, I'm just gonna hit the highlight, which is the newest item, which is the last thing that would happen is she was served on May 7th. Maples was served on May 7th. And then Maple responded on June 10th to the civil lawsuit that UPID has filed against her, stating she has the right to have an emotional support animal. And UPID's request to have the animal removed is a selective act of discrimination against a person with a disability. In addition, Maple has stated that this is selective covenant enforcement. This case is currently in discovery and no court dates have been set. Per attorney's advice, we will not be discussing the details of the case at this meeting or any other meeting. We're just gonna let general update on what's going on. And that's the general update. So any comments on that? Comments online?
No comments online.
Cool. University Park Garage. I'm sorry.
Can
Go
I-
ahead.
Sorry, this is Krista Sylvester. I have a quick question. How are the attorney fees paid?
They are paid with a check, but they're paid by University Park Improvement District funds. The funds are generated from taxes and they're also, the majority of the funds are generated by the rental. But there's a little bit of funds coming in from the golf course and disc golf and things like that, boat dock fee, but the majority of the funds are from the rental.
So Krista, if you look at the treasurer's report that's posted online with the agenda, it's this colorful sheet every month. There's the expenses listed at the top, and you can see there's a Noppen Biggs PA invoice for legal services from June. There was a couple from last month as well. The amounts that we had paid And then at the bottom of this month's is the like running total of funds that have been approved to spend on legal services and the expenses that we've made to date. And then underneath the expenses is the income that University Park recognizes from all these different facets or different places. And this is published every single month with the meeting agenda.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Cool. University Park garage sale update. And I haven't seen anything where anybody has said they will coordinate. So is there any discussion on that? It's gonna have to come up here in the next month. You know, by the end of next month, you know, next meeting, if you ain't got a coordinator, then there won't be a sponsored University Park garage sale, which means you can still do it. It's just not gonna be sponsored, meaning the ad in the paper and all the other stuff that goes with it. So please, if you're interested, let the board know. Talk amongst yourself, post it on Facebook, something. All right, any comments on that? Anything good? Okay. Blue Valley Middle School cross-country meet, so that is all lined up. They're gonna provide porta potty, security, and they have insurance, so should be a fun event. Lots of folks will be here.
What day is that?
It is October 15th, 1/5 October. So maple trees on Highview work project. So I don't know if anybody looked at them before we covered them. The tree trunks have been covered. Dave Cheezick and his, I think it was his sister actually, sewed some tree wraps, which they actually worked really good. They're really nice. They got Velcro on them so they can be removed easily and do an inspection. And I think that will solve the problem with the sunburn, sun scald on the trees. Some of the other trees, I had some snow fence and I put snow fence on them. I actually like Dave's better. But anyway, that's what we got. So we'll pull them off in the fall and do an inspection on some of them, just kind of see if it's working, if we need to do something else. I think it's gonna be fine. We didn't get a volunteer, consistent volunteer that wanted to water. We already had Derek Okaya he does mowing, he does things for the park, and I asked him and he said he would water, and we're paying him the regular rate and he's watering the trees. He did, why don't you guys have seen him out there watering in the evening? He's we figure we'll water, probably once a month, how he's watering. He did it in June, we'll do it in July, we'll do it in August, and then maybe we'll do one in the winter time too, which is what the forestry service said. They said that winter water would make a big difference in the trees, so. But thank you, Derek. I appreciate you're not on here, but I appreciate him volunteering for that. So any comments on that? Cool. Okay, request for golf tournament. Terry and Sierra. You want to talk about what you want to do?
Sierra Speed, I'll move out here. Harry and I are volunteer coaches for a nonprofit softball organization. We used to do it in Oklahoma, and we're bringing it here to Kansas just to give young girls an opportunity to get on the softball field and have a safe place to do that without having to come from like a rich family, because it's very expensive to play competitive softball. So we're bringing the nonprofit organization here and just spreading it from Oklahoma to Kansas. And Jody is here with me. She's our treasurer and our fundraiser lady for the team, so she knows a little bit more about it. But we're just trying to see if we can do a golf fundraiser here in University Park to raise funds for the team, so we can get the girls uniforms, pay for their tournaments, get any kind of equipment that we need for the team, like batting nets, TV spaces, stuff like that.
Okay. Obviously there's been tournaments out here before. So I thought with your request, there's really only two questions, in my opinion, that may be unusual for requests. One of them was shutting the golf course down for anybody but your tournament. We can discuss that. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I don't think that's the normal thing. Maybe it is. The previous board members would be more knowledgeable about that. And then the deal about selling alcohol, obviously we all drink alcohol out here on this thing, but you're talking about selling alcohol. You did mention in your text, your email that, with the proper license during the fundraiser day, that I'd be on you guys, but as a community, it's something, those two questions, I think, need to be discussed and see how we stand on those two things. So discussion here in the room here, first off, particularly you previous board members.
There has never been a problem with somebody selling beer out here. If they've got, well, they put it on the gator and drive around and with the big cooler in the back and.
Do they have a license? Do they get a liquor license or
No,
they just sell?
they just sell it. Nobody's ever said anything or done anything different.
Donation.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's and
and then you
Yeah,
can't
you have
have
to
set
donate.
prices. I think you're supposed to have a liquor license. And I don't know what that would look like on our liability insurance if something were to get called in or reported or word of mouth, people run into Manhattan and say, oh yeah, they sold it to me on the golf course. I think I would feel a lot safer if you just call it donation and then don't state an amount. People want to throw in $1 or $5, whatever, and you run it that way, because you don't need anything to give away.
Right.
And you don't need anything to accept a donation, but to sell, and I mean, I don't know if it's even possible to get a short-term liquor license for a situation like that.
You might actually make more money on a donation basis than
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right, actually.
Okay.
Is there any concerns on insurance though? If somebody got drunk and drove off and ran into a tree and, or hurt is there?
Well, I don't think there's any more risk than anybody else driving on the golf course and getting drunk and hitting a tree. Obviously, if you're providing under donation liquor to somebody, I'd say whoever's providing it needs to be over the age of 21, and they need to have a brain, and be smart about it. So the burden's on you guys. We're not gonna be out here, we're not gonna be policing it, and somebody may participate, in the community, but it'd be on you guys. So, okay, so it sounds like traditionally that is done as a donation. That's your deal. We're not taking any cut of it. We don't need to know how much you make. Doesn't matter to us. So, and then, shutting the course down. I'm sorry. Yes, John.
I just have a couple of questions. So are you John Cassidy, are you a 501c3 nonprofit?
So I filed for it,
Okay.
but I haven't gotten the response yet.
Okay.
But that's what we were in Oklahoma.
Awesome. And then the second point is that normally when a nonprofit holds a fundraiser such as this, they usually carry some sort of insurance associated with this liability. When you did fundraisers in Oklahoma, did you have insurance for the events?
No.
Okay.
But I can look into it.
Usually their event insurance is pretty cheap, almost dirt cheap, and it's a good, little bit of,
It's safety net.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, for you. That way, if there is an issue, and who knows what it is, that you've got some coverage and they go after the insurance and not you individually.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, you might want to wait till we get the green.
Yeah.
Not grass.
I'd recommend it. So we're gonna get a timeline on that from Laura, maybe when she talks to Debbie but then it gets sprayed, then it has to die, then it has to come off. It has to be removed manually, hands or some mechanical means to remove. So it's a process. So you may be looking for your volunteers to go out and help, to get the course. The course is not, to be honest, I wouldn't say it's quality of a fundraiser golf course right now. That's what I would say.
Do you have a date or like week-ish or month-ish picked out?
No, we're just waiting until.
Okay, so it sounds like the alcohol thing is manageable. Sounds like,
Carla?
yes, Carla?
Will they have to pay regular daily fees or will those fees be waived?
Yeah, okay. Previous board, what do you guys do?
We always charge daily fees.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't recall us having a ball golf tournament other than just University Park itself fundraiser.
They did,
Disc golf,
they did a couple tournaments.
before I was on the board, you guys used to have tournaments.
And what they did was just charge, the daily fee to everybody that was here and give that to the golf course.
Well, we have a disc golf tournament and doesn't that organization pay the fee for?
they do, but they're not a nonprofit. They're not a fundraiser for baseball. They're a bunch of guys that want to go frisbees around.
In this case, I just throw this out for the board's consideration. Would you consider waiving that daily fees for this fundraiser, for this group? If they're a nonprofit, they're trying to help kids,
I think that would be a good idea.
and that's up to you guys.
So what are you gonna charge? I mean, traditionally in something like this, what do you guys, is it, it's a 9-hole sand green golf course. What's your fundraiser fee gonna be for somebody to come? You thought
Well,
about it?
we are just starting to plan, and so if you guys have any ideas, what you would pay as, as I was thinking of 4-team basketball. I don't know, is $100 for $150 for a 4-team?
I've done them before, $150. This course is not worth 100. I mean, if you just want to take the donation may be worth $150, but the course is not worth that. So you can figure that out. I don't mind waiving the fee first off. I mean, we are going to have extra expenses, but that's fine. We can eat the extra expenses and we can eat the fee. I mean, we're talking community members, are running it and community members are participating and the program's a good program.
I have a suggestion. We're gonna have 9 holes that are gonna need to have the grass cleaned out. Maybe their kids group could come and help us with that task because it's gonna be a task.
Yeah, that'd be,
You know,
if you guys are willing to do that.
People in your group, but it takes 4 or 5 on a hole to clean it out, not take all day.
That'd be something you guys would consider to help us out with that?
I mean, it's a
Okay.
fundraiser for them, so if they have to work for it, then they gotta work for it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. So yeah, I would say that particularly if you can get the softball, the team to come out and assist, I think we
With their
should,
parents and brothers
Yeah.
and sisters.
yeah, family. Yeah,
Which,
We could wait.
The organization that you're having, is this for multiple age groups or is this just?
Just 12 years, so
Oh.
there's, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
How many teams do you have, or
Do what?
how many teams do you have?
Just the 12 team right now.
Just one team, okay.
but if anybody are in the league, are you in a league?
No, it's just, so we play, tournaments, like competitive ball, so we travel and go.
Oh, it's travel ball,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're the team from Manhattan.
Okay. So is there any comments online before we?
Do we want to discuss the shutting down the course?
I don't mind shutting down the course. It's fine. We'd have to, all that means is we publicize it on Facebook that the course is shut down and we post a sign. And if somebody shows up with a golf cart on their trailer, they can go home.
If they want to come and play ball,
They can donate to the thing and participate. There you go. Yes,
We'll be shutting the golf course down for that middle school cross country meet.
Yeah.
we will. We will. Same thing. Roger that. Okay.
Porta potties,
Well, how many? It's a good question. Thank you. You're right.
I was just gonna make that comment, like, we just discussed the Blue Valley Cross Country Meet, we asked them to provide a porta potty, but, I mean, they're how many, 100?
They had more, they had
200, 300
a couple of
people that
hundred,
come out.
200-300.
I don't know how big your group is gonna be, but maybe consider that. Like, we only have this one bathroom, or on the whole golf course, but at your discretion. I don't think for their group is gonna be nearly as large, so I don't think we need to require it like we did for Blue Valley. But if they're just aware of it and they want to do it, that option is there for them at their discretion.
So, okay, I think we set a number. It's either 50 or it's 100. I mean, they know how many people are gonna be there. If it's 50 people or it's 100 people, then you get a porta potty, whatever that number is. It's 300, it's 500. I think 50, I mean, that's a picnic. We can handle that. That bathroom can handle 50.
So I think it's 100 and minimum.
100 and then
150.
the parents and all the people who.
Yeah, so I would say that more than 100, we'll donate assuming we agree, kind of negotiating here is we donate the golf fees, but they can use that money to rent a porta potty for a day.
If it's more than.
If it's more than 100, if it's, and that, that's the whole crowd, unless people are gonna hold it 4 or 5 hours after drinking beer all day, so.
do we want to actually be voting on stuff now, or do we want to get more information farther along, or do you actually want to?
When we're kind of discussing it here, this is we're discussing now. I mean, I think if it's a vote, it's a vote on, do we allow this event to shut down the golf course? They're going to do the traditional alcohol donation, and if there's more than 100 people, they need to rent a porta potty. I think that was really the key point there.
And we hope they'll come and help us.
And they need to come help remove this. We'll keep you informed on that, removing the dead grass off the sand greens after we spray. We'll own that. I mean, it's probably 4 or 5. We were gonna spray anyway, so that's not because of that, your event.
What about John's suggestion about event insurance, checking into that?
Yeah, I think you need to get insurance. I do. We did require the disc golf, or I'm sorry, we required the kids track deal to get insurance. So I think you need to look into that, and you need to get some version of insurance. Traditionally, when you get insurance, is you provide, a copy of it to, the board or something along that line. So yeah, I would include that too. They need to have straight up liability insurance for this thing. And they may tell you it's so much money because you're gonna do alcohol that you may not want to pay that much, so you may come up with a different version for the alcohol, so you can have a cheaper insurance.
Sometimes they don't need to know everything.
That's up to you. That's your insurance. So you work it out. Okay.
I will say though, if you don't disclose everything and there is this situation,
Yeah,
and then then you have zero coverage.
Yeah.
So.
agree.
I would, but there are plenty of companies out there that provide that insurance, and it will be more expensive because you are serving alcohol. But it is a peace of mind, to protect, definitely protection for you and your organization and for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to vote on, if you are comfortable, are you comfortable voting on something, Joanne?
Yeah, I am with,
If someone else said it out loud.
well, that and the event insurance. I just know what our company does when we have alcohol and just being careful.
Yep, roger that. Okay, go ahead and say all that then. I'm not gonna say it.
I motion that we approve the event for the nonprofit golf tournament to happen at some point this year. As long as they secure insurance, they will be allowed to serve alcohol, but not charge for it. They will need to get a porta potty if they have more than 100 people. And their team is going to show up and help clean up the greens prior to the tournament.
And we'll shut the course down.
And we will publicize that the course is shut down for the event.
All right.
Second, thank you for saying all that.
Yes, thank you. Do I hear a motion?
You just did.
Or do I hear a second?
Yeah, I seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, you got a lot of stuff to do.
If anybody has any ideas for us, yeah, or wanna sign up, let me know.
Okay, let's see. So we're down there, UPID. Okay, UPID roads. So in response to community complaints about the roads and comments, Sherman Township stated they are working to improve the drainage by reshaping and setting the crown. So, I mean, obviously we all saw the roads and they were inconsistent would be the nicest thing I would say. They're inconsistent in where they were done, but I understand they're trying to crown them and get the water in the ditches and get it off the edge of the roads that washes out and try and control some of those washouts. In the end, the township owns to the property pins. All of us, that's, although we are still responsible to trim our trees and to mow our grass, there's no doubt, but the township has to do what they have to do to get the water off the road. We do pay, all of us, for our taxes to manage the roads, and our money goes to Sherman Township. And they are the experts, in this field. They manage the roads for the whole Sherman Township. And I know in the past, they've been very hesitant to drop the blade on the grass because people will get squirrely about it. And also you pile up all that dead grass in the road and it looks like hell until the dead grass dies and they come back and they grade it again. And then they break the clumps down and they spread it out in the road. So it's going to look a lot worse before it looks any better. But as long as in the end, the roads are better, then we've accomplished something. So I don't think we can really, judge the what's going on today until we see the final product later. That's what I would say. But if you have concerns about it, I would go to the meeting and speak to those folks directly about it. So, yes.
What he did the last time did not fix anything that he was trying to do.
Right.
Because he didn't spend enough time on it. The ditch that he was trying to cover up is still there. The water can't get into the ditch to go down through the culvert.
Right. I wouldn't say he didn't fix anything because I drove the roads. I would say that some of the ones he did a benefit on and some of the other ones, I agree 100% are a mess.
The
So-
ones where he went into the ditch, he didn't fix any of them. I went and looked at all of them.
And I drove around too. I'm not arguing. I'm not saying he did a great job. He didn't do a great job, but I also don't think he's done. I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna drop the blade again. He's gonna reshape. You gotta remember, the guy is swinging I don't know what it is, 10, 12-foot blade. There's two blades that swing out. He's sitting 15, 20 foot in the air. So I know the guy has a lot of experience. I actually question if they had a different guy in the machine this last time than has done it every time, because I've never seen this, I'd say quality of work, but I've just never seen the end result look like this. So I was wondering if somebody different came. Do you know offhand if?
I was thinking it was Tyson that did it. I won't swear 100%, but
Okay.
the gentleman that did it before, no longer works for them.
Oh, wait, the old guy doesn't do it anymore?
No,
Hey, good. That's it then.
Solved that.
I think Tyson is the one running the blade.
And who is Tyson? Who's this?
Person meter.
Yes,
One of the directors. Isn't he a director?
correct, correct.
Okay,
Hey Tracy, what's your guess at the next meeting? July, August? If you had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that,
But as soon as you do find out, we'll publicize it, but hopefully it won't be the day of, because they're not,
yeah.
I think it's a lot of,
I mean, I actually have a question. Isn't doesn't like need to have open public meetings?
and they say they don't, and they say they don't have to provide financials. We went through this years ago. When I asked the same questions, where's your financials? Where's your minutes? They don't have to provide any of it. I don't understand. They come up with a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but I don't. But I would say I feel better now, because I couldn't believe that old guy tore up the roads
Yeah.
like this. So we have a new person that's run the blade, that doesn't have 30 years experience or 40 doing the job,
50, he was
Or-
80s.
or 100. I mean, the guy knew what he was doing. We didn't all like what he did, but he knew what he was doing. This guy is going to learn. So yeah, the roads are gonna look rough until they get better. So the new guy, though, is trying to solve some of the issues that we've all been talking about for years, where there's no crown, the water runs down the edges of these big piles that he leaves. And we lose a third of the road because there's a pile on the left and the pile on the right, and the water hits that pile and runs all the way down to the end, and then it blows the end out on the culvert right there on Redbud and what's that crossroad there? Help me somebody. Rimrock. Yeah, so anyway. I personally feel better about it because I can see why it happened, and I can see somewhere down the line it will be better. So let's just all kind of work with it and get a rake and get a shovel. I went out there and I did some work on the one of my parents because we couldn't even get on the culvert. So that's just what we have to do until the gentleman gets a little more proficient at operating the machine. That's what I would recommend.
And the minute you hear, we'll publicize the date.
If you don't want them to tear your ditch up, you fix it.
Yeah, you could do it, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I shaped mine, so. Okay, is there anything online? Any more comments here about that? All right, that's good news. That's good information. Thank you. I appreciate that. UPID Road. So, firehouse building application and land swap contract, discussion, sign approval. So short notice last time, we on June 25th, we received the completed building application of the firehouse from Riley County Planning and Zoning and the real estate purchase contract. It's actually a land swap, not a purchase, but that's what the contract's called.
It's not a land swap.
Okay, it's a purchase contract with the request for UPID to sign and submit both documents prior to June the 1st. After we set an emergency meeting to discuss and sign the documents, Brian Parker, the deputy Riley County counselor, we are now working with, sent an email stating the purchase contract was not ready and we would need to revise, and he would need to revise. The emergency meeting was canceled, as you all know. Bob Isaac later requested that we go ahead and sign the building application prior to receiving, signing the purchase contract. If not signed, this will delay the process. And the process meaning they have to go before the commission and do the next step. So do we want to sign the building application without a signed purchase contract in place? So first off, the board will say, and I'm saying that if it was my own personal thing, I wouldn't sign one without the other. That would be my thoughts. So what do you guys think? You guys seen the contract?
I understand where they're coming from with that as far as trying to expedite the process, but I mean, holy cow, we've been on hold on their end the whole time anyways. Like there's no reason we need to keep jumping over hoops and all these things for them. They can figure their shit out and then come back to us.
Yeah, it's been 5, 7 years or something. This discussion's been going on. I'm not sure there's any reason to jump now.
Kurt Frederick.
Yes, Kurt.
Would the county planning board give me a building permit without me owning the property?
No,
Why the hell would we?
there you go. And that, I'm bringing it up because they were they really wanted us to do this and, I mean, I have my own thoughts, but I want to make sure that the board,
Like Sarah's saying, what, I mean, this has
Okay.
been going on for how many years?
Yeah.
Why is the big rush now? Just because the new guy's on board, he wants to
Well, he's,
pound his chest or something?
no. He's trying to do us a favor because it languished. And so they brought him in as a new person, and that was one of the things given to him to help get this done. And so he's actually trying to work in our benefit.
So what's the holdup on the purchase agreement on there?
well, we don't know. We had a copy. Okay, so you all know when you buy a house, there's a whole lot of things that still have to happen when you sign a contract, right? You got to get a survey or you have to get inspections. This contract's the same thing. It is not, everything has been taken care of. We haven't seen the plat yet. We haven't seen this. We haven't seen that. So all this is a contract to agree that if we get these other things we're looking for, same thing when you buy a house, that in the end, we will agree to do this contract or sign the contract or execute the contract that we're going to sign. So that we were willing to sign the contract that he sent us, knowing there were still some outliers that had to be resolved because
He's adding in a few more buts or like what if statements on our behalf is what we asked him to do. And then he took all last week off for vacation. So yesterday was his first day back in office since canceling the emergency meeting to address these issues. I mean, again, like Joanne said, he is working fast and he's working in our favor and he's busting his butt truly.
I
So
agree.
I would expect to see a new revised contract this week for us. And once he adds those few extra statements in there that we asked him to, we feel good about it.
Mhm.
We felt 95% good about the first draft that he
Just
sent
have an
over.
another emergency meeting.
we will.
Mhm.
That's what we'll do. We'll just have another meeting to discuss and to sign. It'd just be a one issue deal. And, you know, it's the same things that you guys, previous boards agreed to, you know, it's the same thing. There's nothing.
Surveyed it at least twice. They just recently surveyed it again. The
Yeah.
Stakes are out there again. I
Yeah.
rode around last time.
So it's moving forward. So anyway, I think what we'll do then is I don't want to sign it. I'd rather wait until we get the right contract. We'll hold a special meeting. We'll publicize it. It could be short notice. If it is, you're welcome to come. And we'll do it that way. Okay.
Do we need to make a motion or just put in the meeting minutes that we're going to wait?
I would say we discuss and, you know, I don't want to sign
Save
it.
it for-
They want me to
Yeah.
sign it anyway, and I don't want to sign it. So
Got it.
we discussed it and nobody changed my mind. So
Hold for future meeting or however you want to phrase that.
cool. Okay, so, boom. So HUD complaint. Daniel Maple has filed a housing discrimination complaint. And the document number is here. You can look this up if you want to see the words for words. Against University Park Improvement District alleging discriminatory terms, conditions, privileges, or services and facilities and failure to make reasonable accommodation. Stating that UPID has informed her that she needs to remove her ESA, the emotional support animal. She believes that UPID would not treat persons not of the complainant's protected class similarly. UPID legal representative will be responding. Any comments? Cool. Anything online? Oh, Bob.
Is it illegal? Whatever she's wanting, is it certified? Donkey.
I would say that I really can't talk about it. That's what I would say. This is a big deal. You know, it's the community. We're paying the lawyer, so we're telling everybody what's going on. You know, obviously we filed suit. Okay. Usually when you file suit against somebody, they file suit back. Okay. So this did not come as a surprise to us or the lawyer. There was some comments made ahead of time that we thought this may be coming, so we had already looked into it. and it's not a surprise. So we have a draft copy. We're gonna have a special, whatever you call it, executive session right after this thing where the three of us are gonna talk about the document that the lawyer just sent. And we're going to send it back to the lawyer and said, send it out to HUD. So, all right. So any comments, anything else here? Yes, Kim?
I'm just wondering, so what is the protected class? Or can you tell us that?
I would say, go look at this document. And the document is here. You can go online and search it. I'd rather do that than me say the wrong thing. This is recorded. Anything I say is gonna come up later. You know how I talk.
So they can look up that document.
They can.
If you just go to like the HUD website and this file number and type that in, you can see the whole legal document with all the fun legal jargon. But disability is what she is claiming that she needs the ESA for.
And you'll see UP's response to. Okay, any comments online? Okay. Additional new business. Oh, yeah. Several properties. People aren't mowing. A lot of people aren't mowing. You know, people that live in their houses that see their grass is really tall. So the empty lots, you know, the board generally tries to handle that. We send the letters out to the empty lot people that don't live here because they're not here and they don't know how tall their grass is. You know, so we try to handle that. But the people that live here and walk outside and see their grass is really tall right outside their front door and their dog is peeing in it and scratching their belly. You know, they know how tall the grass is, you know, so. I mean, we can send a letter to these people. And, you know, some of these people, I'm not necessarily want to knock on their doors. So is there any comments or discussion? I mean, some of these people have been here a long time. I can't believe some of the people that are not mowing their grass right now. I mean, extremely disappointing that I got to take my time and do a letter up to people that have been here 30 years, have been mowing their grass, and all of a sudden they're choosing not to mow their grass. And I'm going to take my time and do a letter up and frickin' mail it. So I guess I'll do that. But those of you that are listening and listen to this later, please mow your grass like neighbors. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. Like kids. Yes.
Do we have any idea if people that have been here that long, are there any medical conditions that prevent them, like handicap?
Some are, and I am working, there's a couple of them I know have some medical stuff going on. And those are not the people I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that if there's.
And I'm not saying that all the people, you know, I know there's one gentleman on Redbud, that's his name. I don't mind saying it. I mean, he's got on the outside of Redbud, Carla. This is Samir. You know, he's not here. He's got some serious medical conditions and we are working with him because he was here forever, you know, and you know, we're working with him. But some of these other folks, I mean, they're going to work every day. They got gators parked in their driveway and boats and all the other things, and they just choosing not to mow their grass. So come on.
It used to be that you could, for not on vacant lots, but on property that has a house on, residential. You contact the county noxious weed director. He would take a visit out there, he would inspect it, he would send them the letter, it's all on the county because of the county ordinance in platted areas.
Yeah,
That's an idea.
I would say
The
that
new noxious weed guy was reluctant to do that.
that's what I would say. I sat down and talked to him and I did not hear that was something that they were willing to do.
Now,
So the Maples property is a little bit different because of the criminal case there. You know, that one is different because there was a criminal settlement on that and there's some obligation because of that. But as far as everybody else, he's not willing to do fines and citations. And, you know, are we really going to drive on somebody's yard and mow? I'll tell you what we will do. We're gonna do the same thing we do for tree trimming, which is a safety concern, is we trim trees that are in the road easement. So we have safe access for fire trucks and vehicles. So, and traditionally, we send the mower out and they run around the neighborhood and they mow the road edge. So we're not going to get into people's yards, but the same way the grader man drops a grader blade and cleans up the ditch, we're going to mow those ditches. You know, same way we've always done. So we are going to be doing that. And I suppose I'll drop some letters in people's mailboxes and see if they care enough to read them, and then do something about it.
Just a question. So I think the noxious weed guy wants the community to try to handle it. I get that. That's what we hear a lot. We'll let the community handle it. Could we give the list of names to those wonderful boys that go around and mow? Trip and,
The Schmidt.
yes,
Give the list of names.
yeah. So they might want you to mow. I mean,
I hear you.
I don't know. I hate the fact that you guys, I mean, we have to send out letters and.
I'm gonna drop it in the mailbox. But anyway, when you see your neighbors and you see the tall grass, you might mention it to them. In fact, we're talking about it, it's pretty childish.
Usually when the county came out and mowed it after everybody mowed it after that. Because what the county charged was not
Yeah,
small.
but they're not willing to do that.
When they left the shop.
Huh?
The clock started when they left the
Yeah.
shop and it ended when they got back.
Yeah, that's not something they're willing to do. So that's off the table. So now it's us. And we're not, I'm not willing to put somebody on somebody's property that's living there. It's one thing to do an empty lot and no one's there. It's not right to the people that are our neighbors who are driving the mowers for the community. That's an adversarial situation and I wouldn't want to do it and I wouldn't want to put that in. All right, anyway. Okay, are there any other new business items or comments before we close out?
I just want to say that it's likely that next, meeting, August board meeting, will have the annual budget for approval as well. I sat down with the county and Joanne, a couple weeks ago, and we worked that out for 2025, and so we'll address that. Talk to it, there'll be open discussion for community members, questions, comments, all those things. And then we'll vote to approve it and sign that document at next month's meeting as well. So if you're interested in that at all, it'll be at August meeting.
Does that get published in the paper
It
before?
already has been published in the paper,
Okay.
in the Raleigh County.
Okay, I don't get it. Okay,
Do you need a motion on the grass or you're just gonna send? it?
no, I'm just gonna put letters in the mailbox. Nothing better to do. Okay, anything else? Anything online?
Nothing.
Okay, so, I motion that we leave the meeting open for an executive session to discuss legal proceedings. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It's approved to leave the meeting open for an executive session to discuss legal proceedings. Thank you very much for attending.
And did everybody sign the sheet? If you didn't, please do. Thank you.
Mow your grass. Are you off? The mic off?